what? I promised myself I wasn't going to start off with, hey guys. So now I'm really trying to find just like a way to start things off. So here we go. Also, I have a fun remote control that can let me start and stop things so I'm not constantly going like this. Okay, so today I want to talk about my weight loss journey and how I got here, and hopefully inspire some of you to start your journey if you haven't already, or just keep motivating you to continue through your journey. When you start any journey, you have to be mentally prepared for results to not happen overnight. And that's not something I was mentally prepared for. Every single journey is so different, and we get stuck in comparing ourselves to others, which is probably one of the worst things you can do for yourself. I know I've done that. But here's a little insight of how I got to where I am and where I came from. So my senior year of college, I was probably at my heaviest weight I've ever been. I wasn't unhappy. I was living my life. I was going out and doing what I wanted to do all the time. And that came with consequences. That came with bad eating habits, bad drinking habits, just a lot of bad habits in general. And I think one day I just woke up and I realized that I just decided I can't do this anymore. I need to have a healthy body along with a healthy mental state. So I started the Advocare 30-day challenge, and I did really well on it. I lost 20 pounds initially, and those 20 pounds came off a lot quicker than I expected. I think because I was so heavy and my body wasn't used to the weight that was on. After I lost those 20 pounds, when you have a weight loss journey, I feel like everyone kind of comes to a standstill at some point. And that's when a lot of us fold in. That's when a lot of us give up. And I sure did. I was just content with that 20 pounds lost. I thought that was a huge victory. I'm not downplaying it at all. That was a huge victory for me. But I just kind of thought that I wasn't going to get anywhere else. So I gained a little bit back. And then one of my best friends moved in with me, and she was such a great motivator to get up and work out every day and really push myself. And then I really started losing weight again. And then I went down about 15 more pounds. So that's the total weight loss of 35 pounds at this point. Life happened. My job happened. I was working all the time. I was doing grad school. I was trying to balance that work-friend life and going out and doing all the things I wanted to do. So it kind of put me back in a place of just a little bit of weight gain to make myself happy. And then I was unhappy with my weight gain because I had worked so hard for getting all of that off. I started really questioning, like, can I do this? Do I have the ability to do this? And I think it's hard if you don't truly trust yourself and love yourself to see the light that you can do things. So quarantine happened, and I took quarantine as a time to focus back on myself, get myself back on track. And I am now down another 20 pounds. 11 since quarantine has started. I was losing a little before quarantine, but I'm maintaining and I'm taking off still. And that's when I quickly realized how important it is on a journey like weight loss to work on yourself as well. So I was a person who had not a lot of confidence throughout my whole life. And there were certain situations that have caused that to happen. But I also allowed for myself to not have confidence. I never knew how important it was that I needed to find confidence in myself and give it to myself instead of getting it from other people. So I started reading a lot. Like I mentioned in my first video, Brene Brown really helped me throughout all of this. I've never been more proud of myself in this journey because I know that it could be very easy to fall into that area of feeling sorry for myself during this time and not doing anything during this time and eating and drinking whatever I want and not working out. But during this time, I found that working out is one of the things that relieves a lot of stress for me. It makes me feel confident. It makes me feel good about myself. And that's where I want to get to with this whole video. Weight loss isn't necessarily about the calories you intake and get rid of by working out and doing other things. I think a huge part of your weight loss journey is working on yourself mentally as well. You don't have a good grasp on who you want to be and where you want to be. It's so easy to fall back into that place of where you first started. And I think that's what has really helped me along the way, is to be realistic about my goals and expectations. I just told my friend the other night, I've been setting little goals, little weight loss goals. So 3 pounds in 3 weeks, and then 2 pounds the next week. And those goals are so much more manageable and reachable than 20 pounds in 2 months. Like, that's doable, but can you maintain that? Can you get to that? And the reason I'm saying can you is because I'm sure a lot of you can, and I'm sure I could too. But is that healthy? Is that sustainable? I also keep like checking my armpit because I'm like sweating really bad about this video and I don't want to offend anyone during this time. So setting yourself up for success during this time comes with a few things. Like I just said, those small goal settings I think are amazing because you can work a lot quicker towards those small goals. Like if you set your goal for 1 pound a week and you reach out, well, set it for 1.1 pounds the next week, and you're still losing, but you're seeing results a lot quicker. I know when I would set like a 10-pound weight loss goal and I wasn't seeing the results, I pretty much thought to myself that I failed. And I didn't necessarily fail because I was losing. In my mind, I failed because I didn't reach that goal. And so when I started really thinking about all this, I realized how unrealistic I was about a lot of things, and that I just expected 4 pounds to come off if I worked out twice in one day. And now I just expect to maintain or lose maybe an ounce if I work out that hard. And that's because when you kind of reach your peak, your weight's not going to come off as easy. And I think I've reached my peak a little bit here. And that's okay. And I'm proud of that. I think throughout this whole video, I've been talking a lot about doing it for myself and not others. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong as well. There's so much pressure. And it's not even pressure put on by other people. It's pressure you're putting on yourself to look like other people, to look like these models, to be the most beautiful person in the room. And it's really easy to tell yourself you're not that person and you'll never be that person. Telling yourself you'll never be that person is the worst thing you can do for yourself. The day I realized I was good enough is when I decided to do everything for myself and no one else. I've now fallen in love with myself, right? I'm so proud of myself. I have such confidence within myself that I've never ever had or experienced in my life before. I now work out for me and no one else. I now eat right for me and no one else. I make choices for me and no one else. I'm not basing my choices off of other people's happiness anymore. I don't want to say anymore because I still think I try to please a lot of people, but I'm being more conscious of thinking, well, what would you benefit from? What would make you happy, instead of trying to make everyone else happy. So this journey has not only gotten rid of 50 pounds on my body, which small cheer for myself, because it is so important to cheer yourself on, because you're going to be your biggest cheerleader at the end of the day. But this weight loss journey was about, it has me totally in love with myself and who I am. And I think that is what's going to make you stand out in a room of people that you think are so much better than you. So if you have that confidence about you and you own who you are, I think that's one of the most beautiful things that you can possess as a person. Another thing that I've really started to do is it's so easy to talk negatively to yourself. So I was just sitting here thinking, and I was like, holy crap, I would never take a picture with my arms and shoulders showing like this. And then I was like, no, let's take that thought and let's spin it positively. I am proud of myself for sitting here and filming this whole video, because I know that I worked hard to get to where I am, and that may not be pleasing for everyone else, but it's pleasing to myself. Because you can't be perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. There's imperfectness in everything. And if I were to stay on a strict diet, I don't even have a strict diet. I just am cautious of what I put in my mouth, and how I work out. But if I were to be so strict with myself all the time and not give in to the things I love, then I would totally resort back to my old ways, right? If I want ice cream on a Saturday, I'm getting the damn ice cream on a Saturday. If I want a piece of bread for dinner, I'm having that piece of bread for dinner, right? You can't deprive yourself of things you love, because that's when you break. Go back into the ways you're trying to avoid. I've also really cut out drinking. I think I drink maybe once a week, and that may be 1 glass of wine or 1 White Claw. But drinking for me added so much weight. I turned 21 and say goodbye to that body I had before I was 21, because it really gets you. So my drinking is super limited, and if I do have a couple drinks, it's like spiked seltzers or vodka clubs or a glass of red wine, because those are presumed to be the healthier drinks of choice to have. Now, that's not saying I don't go out and have a night with my girlfriends and get tequila pitchers, margarita pitchers. If you have any further questions on anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. But weight loss journey is so much more about the weight loss. It's about everything else that goes into it.